if I was on the right window when I went to the stream there.
Right, hello everybody, and welcome back to round 2 of the oNiD SimHound OLMS series here at Portimao. The venue's been open since 2008, 100,000 capacity and 2.8 miles of racing here tonight. You join us partly through the first bit of our qualifying session. As you can see, Zach Silver fastest in the LMP2s, Christian Kiesig fastest in the LMGT3s. But before we get any further into this session, let's just quickly introduce my co-commentator. As usual, it's Ben Meyer. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm good, and it's good to be back for week 2. I did remember to unmute the mic there, which was a nice thing to do. Yep, glad to be back. It's one of my favourite tracks, this. I am looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. I'm expecting we're going to see a few spins as heavy right feet come into play out of some of these corners.
Yeah, and we'll have to see. We did see it a lot last week, a lot of spins, especially from the LMP2 class at Silverstone. It was more of a race of attrition than pace in the end, because obviously our pole sitter, Atel Baskar, didn't end up ultimately winning. It was the reigning champion from our Sunday series that came out with the win in the end. And yeah, it was a good round for James Cowley and a good round for Christian Kiesig as well. pole position and a win for Christian Kiesig, so he's currently performing to the best of his abilities, as he always does. And again, in this session, he looks like he's going for pole again. Ben Brown, who finished second last time out, is second again here, and just over 4 tenths behind Kiesig. And thank you for the... Does that say... I couldn't see who that
It's like,
was.
thank you. That's Aidan Howard, our media manager, saying thank you Jeff Bezos for his free subscription. So that's another Prime subscription there from Aidan, I suspect.
I could only see the message and it just said Jeff Bezos, and I was thinking, well, that's not right. I was thinking, that's probably not Jeff Bezos who's just subscribed. But yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'll do it too, just to because it's reminded me.
Well, okay, actually, yeah, and then I'll do it as well.
Johnny's just watching the money rolling in.
Yeah. I think I've just done it. There we go. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, well, it's a quick lap round here. It's a minute, just over a minute and a half. So it's going to be a lot of racing for these guys tonight. Janis Kovac's just starting another lap here as we watch from his onboard. So it's going to... That's a corner that's going in. That's first apex on the uphill is going to be a very difficult one for the LMP2s, I suspect. They're stiffly sprung cars, and it really tests their grip level. Out the hairpin, going to be probably one of the best overtaking spots on the track. There used to be an enormous sausage curve on the inside for that first right-hander. It's not there anymore, and I think people are thankful. Climb out of Samsung, we've already seen spins there tonight, so I suspect we'll see a few more. To Craig Jones, very good overtaking spot if you can get alongside. Down these undulating paths into this very hard braking zone, it's going to really cause lockups for these LMP2s. Power out, a couple of very slow right-handers as you have to balance the power, and then this long sweeping downhill right. Really going to have to be careful not to run out to the outside, and Janis comes into the pits, which takes away from the end of the lap slightly, but gets himself back in to, I assume, refuel and possibly change tyres for the rest of quali.
Yeah, 5 minutes. Oh, sorry.
Most of a lap of Portimao there.
Yeah, and a bit of the pit entry as well, which I mean, look, it's a nice pit layout there. It's a very nice kind of straightened grandstand layout there. It kind of, I don't know, it looks very modern. As we come back to Spike, Zach Silver, still the fastest driver in this session, and impressively beating Alfie Bevan as well, currently just by 46 thousandths of a second. Can Zach Silver
comes across the line, no improvement from Zach there. Alfie just about to finish his lap. Coming up over the crest there, avoids running it too wide. No improvement. I wonder if they've taken too much from their tyres too early.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's just not able to get that close. I mean, obviously, it's still good for them to be on the front row for the start of this race, and well, they're going to be able to at least threaten Silver into turn one. And we saw a lot, obviously, last time out, pole position doesn't necessarily mean the win in the LMP2 class. As I mentioned, Atel Baskar, pole position, but wasn't able to convert just through a few errors in the race themselves. Someone, as I mentioned earlier, though, who isn't making any errors at the moment is Christian Kiesig, who's just coming across the start-finish line and improved again there, of just shy of, actually, yeah, there you go, has gone into the 1 minute 44s now and has gone about above half a second quicker than Ben Brown. And the thing is then, it's 1.1 seconds to Tyler Hammer behind that. So it's really impressive pace, and I assume, as we were speaking about last week, it's going to be another fuel-saving masterclass or by Christian Kiesig, because he's just different gravy.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. It's just he knows how to make a car last in a race better than anyone else can, and he also then has a better pace advantage as well, as he's proving in this qualifying session. But let's talk about the top 5 of the LMP2s quickly as well.
Yes.
Civic at the top, then Bevan, but then Adusa Carpenter in third. That's a decent spot. Last time's winner, James Cowley, only 2 attempts back, or actually no, 4 attempts back, I mean, in fourth, because Alfie's gone to the top of the times. It's 1 minute 33.327 to go fastest in the session. Beats Zach Silver by over 2 attempts there, and it's going to be James Cowley now we follow up to the start finish line. Can James come back at all? He's currently starting on the second row of the grid, but no, he's going to come into the pit lane. It's not going to be any no time to improve there for James Cowley. He's going to have to get back out on circuit if he wants to get another lap in. 1 minute 33, as we've seen. It's going to be a struggle
to get out and get another one in. It's going to be very tight, but they're pushing it close now. It's a longish pit lane, so it will, if they don't get moving, it will come back to haunt them. Let's find someone who's actually moving. Bear with Jacob Hine. Jacob Hine is out on track.
Yeah, here is Jacob Hine, currently 7th in the field, so just outside our left-hand timing board, but he's still pushing on this lap. This will obviously be their last attempt. 1 minute 20. Actually, no. I'm lying to myself. Obviously, it would be if he was at the start of the lap, but he's not at the start of the lap. He's coming to the end of this one, so he could have another go, potentially, depending on how he's got the car set up for another one after this. We'll have to see. Just comes out the second to last corner now through turn 14. We'll come up to the long downhill turn 15. And obviously on the power now up towards the start finish line. Let's see, can Jacob Hine improve at all? Can he at least move into the top 5 of the field? Comes across the line, and it's only good enough to improve 1 position, and it's a 6th position, so up to 6th and onto the 3rd row of the grid. So a little bit better there by Jacob Hine, and looks like that's going to be it for their session. Doesn't seem, or maybe I'm brightening him off a bit. No, definitely isn't pushing as hard as they could be. As we come to Tyler Hammer now in that C1 liveried Ferrari, as they are currently, as I mentioned, 1.1 seconds off of the best time set in the OLM GT3 class. It's and again, it's quite a mammoth margin just to find the time to get to Brown, let alone Kiesig. So this is really going to require something special here from Tyler Hammer to try and move at least onto the front row of the field. And as he now comes into the braking zone for turn 5 on this layout, already into the second sector of the circuit, and it looks like the rest of the field is staying pretty similar. Fusgun now in the LMGT3 top 5 as things stand. It's very close as well between Adusa Carpenter and Cowley, only 41 thousandths separating the 39 thousandths separating those two in that class as we come to the end of this session, following Tyler Hammer just as he makes his way through turn 11. Now starts his descent down towards turn 12, and like a roller coaster will then start going up again as he gets towards turn 13 of the circuit. And this has looked pretty tidy so far. Apart from that, a little bit of oversteer there through the middle parts of turn 13. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. Won't have allowed him to put the corner. oNiD Racing just gifted 2 subscriptions there, I think that said. So thank you for whoever's done that. I will just have a look. I will have a check after.
We've lost Tom for a second. Lost Tom for a second there. Yeah, that's oNiD Racing giving 2 tier 1 subs to the community. So that's Johnny spreading that Amazon cash about. But Tyler comes across the line. He's actually dropped to P4. It's that Elvin Blomqvist getting in P3 at the death there. But all these cars now completed their lap, so we shall probably go for a rundown of the grid once I remember how to do it. Bear with me half a second.
Oh,
there we go.
Let's have a look.
Okay.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
I don't know if that's worked.
I can't see it on my screen.
No, it's lying to me. It's hang on. There we go.
Well, there we go. Alfie Bevan, first pole of the season in LMP2, followed by Zach Silver. Then as we move on to the third row, it's Adusa Carpenter and James Cowley, last time's winner. On to row 3 of the grid, we have 5th position Angela Scott. 6th goes away of Jacob Hine in the end, just couldn't make his way into that top 5. Then we'll go on to row 7, it's Yanis Kovacs and Dave Wood. Then if we move on to row 5, it's Dan Tomlinson, a little bit lower than last week, and 10th goes away of Dan Steffens. Then on to row 6 of the grid, it's Frank Vevic, and 12th goes away in the into Europol car of Alex Wood. On to row 7, it's Jarrett Page in 12th, 14th goes the way of Manny Steiner. On to row 8 now, it's Jonas Muller, and Christian Kiesig is the first of the LMGT3s. On to row 9, we have Ben Brown, followed by Elvin Blomqvist, now in 3rd position. Then in 19th, we have Tyler Hammer, and 20th goes the way of Max Farrell on row 10. On to row 11, we have Matthias Fusken and Fran Dorich on that row. Then if we go to row 12, we have John Metcalf, and in 24th position overall, we have Daniel Johansson. Then row 13, we have Johnny Ashley, currently leading the ACC AMS class series on Sundays in 26th. Oh, I missed that. Whoops, that wasn't very professional. 11 is Josef Nazarian in 27th, and 28th is Elliot Lewis. Then on row 15, Christian Schlink, and 30th is Simon Harris in that Lamborghini. Then on row 16, it's Andy Hearn in 31st. 32nd goes away of Dean Smith.
That's our starting order, and desperately gets the overlays back on for the start of the race as these guys will jump to the leaders to watch as they come across the line to plunge down into that tight right hander for turn 1.
I've just seen as well, Matt Holman, thank you for the subscription. 40 months now they've subscribed for, so thank you. We've got a little bit of well, it doesn't say we've got a subscription train going, but we have a metaphorical one. Anyway, we're underway with round 2 of the OLMS series here at Portimao, and Alfie defends straight away, covers off Zach Silver. Silver's nearly into the back end of Alfie, and he's actually gone off the circuit. A very aggressive attacking move straight off the start there by Zach Silver. He's going to lose out in the end, and actually in the background, a couple cars wide, I think it's Duza and Cowley fighting with one another side by side as they come down the back straight. Also Scotty and it looks like Jacob Hine 2x2 into the corner as well. The LMP2 is very close together, a little bit of locking up there. Cowley's up into 3rd in this race now. Duza's dropping to 4th. Jacob Hine now moves their way up into 5th as well. Kiesig's lost out on the start as well. Brown has taken the LMGT3 lead with Blomqvist and Farrell now 4th and 3rd. It seems like Tyler Hammer's fallen back in that order as then we come back to this gaggle of cars here, and we've got cars running 2 wide as they make their way up towards turns 10 and 11 and just nearly cutting off the front ends of each other. I think this is side by side between Scotty it's Scotty on the outside, I think, for 5th position, and going to the inside will hold on. I think that's Jacob Hine trying to go around the outside. It's a bit hard with some of these liveries, and they'll go back through, so things stay how they are in the LMP2 class. It's Brown currently still leading the way in the LMGT3s as we run the end of lap 1. Kiesig about a second back with Blomqvist 1.6 back from them as well. Here's Brown running in another new livery on that Mercedes AMG. Looks very nice as we can see Kiesig in the background, and then as well we have Blomqvist making it up a Mercedes 1.3 at the moment on the podium. Farrell's broke up the Mercedes 1.3.4 with the BMW now slotting into 4th place in that class, and it seems that Ben Brown's doing a good job of stabilising the gap between himself and Kiesig. Yeah, brief yellow flag there just coming out as well. It's about just dropping under a second now. It's a long yellow period.
I can tell you
on circuit.
Yeah, I can tell you what that yellow flag is. It is Zach Silver who's come a cropper. Let's have a look at what's happened here. So that's just coming down to the hairpin, isn't it? Oh,
Yeah, I
just
mean,
locks up. Alfie
I
has
mean-
no idea how close he came.
Yeah, that was very lucky, and as you can see, it's because it's so early in the race and he spun. It means he has to let all the cars through. Is he going to have to let the LMGT3 tracker through? No, he has got it going again before they've come past, but it's the whole of the LMP2 class, at least. Now look, all the way down in 13th. That is not what Zach Silver wanted. Qualified on the front row of the field, now is at the back end of the field. It's really, really not fantastic for him at this point in the race, as Alfie's extending his lead in the LMP2 class now, obviously, because Cowley was a little bit further back anyway. 3.5 seconds is the gap to the leader in that class. Keasdig slightly coming back at Brown. He's got it down to just within a second, then just over a second, that gap fluctuating. We now follow Alex Wood, who has one of the oNiD cars up behind him. I don't suppose you can tell me who that is.
That
Ben,
is Dan Tomlinson, Dan Stevens just behind him. So these LMPs are all running very close together.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to blame. I was just going to say, it shows the importance of trying to keep it on the circuit at this stage in the race, because if one little spin at this point is really going to lose you a massive amount of time and a massive amount of places if you aren't able to keep it on the circuit.
A lot of these guys did take front tyres last week in their pit stop, so I suspect we're going to see that again. But this is a massive battle that's happening on track. It's just all of these guys running within seconds of each other and looking to make gaps.
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky to try and make gap, and it's going to be interesting if they stay. I mean, obviously we're not far into this race at all, but it's going to be interesting if they stay this close the whole time, because it is going to make the pit period quite key in the way you come out on the circuit. Because if they come out, I don't know, just like behind a slower runner in the LMP2 class, or are in a lot of GT3 traffic when they come back out on the circuit, with the gaps we're currently seeing, it's going to make it hard for them to find fresh air on the track to try and pump in some fast, consistent lap times in order to either stay ahead or get ahead of the car they're fighting. So it's so far as if the gaps stay how they are, it is going to be important on strategy where you do come back out on circuit. Keasdig still getting that gap down to Brown. 0.6 is how much separates the Mercedes and the Porsche driver as they come back onto the start-finish straight of this lap, as they will come across the line yet again. As you can see, the gap is kind of staying how it is for now. Farrell also getting a bit closer to Blomqvist. The gaps are very similar. 0.626 is the gap between fourth and third in this race.
An enormous gap behind themselves. They have just driven away from that back behind them. Only 5 seconds to the good.
It just seems like Blomqvist hasn't got the pace to compete with him, because you can see there is a massive train of cars behind him, and actually Dorich now less than a second to Farrell as well. So I think we're going to have a really hot battle here for third position, because you can just see in the background there, like, how many cars are probably within a second of each other in the LMGT3s at the moment. It's really probably a battle from 5th to 6th. I mean, it's 5th to 10th. I mean, not 6th. That wouldn't be a very good battle. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cars here.
I'm getting the red light up for cars under a second to each other from everyone from P17 down to P28.
Oh my god. It just seems like Blomqvist. I don't know if it is Blomqvist is the slow car at the moment, but it just seems to be kind of holding everyone together. As you can see, you've got cars all together. Johnny Ashley running in 6th in the LMGT3 class, as one of the cars up behind him there as well. And as they make their way up, there's still a BMW, another Porsche in that battle as well. Johnny's not himself, it isn't too far back from Dorich here either. So it's there's a lot to play for currently.
And I've remembered that we have a 1v1 battle feature. It's still not telling the whole story, because he's got Daniel Johansson directly behind him. Johansson's got John Metcalf on the attack straight behind him as well in the BMW.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. So there's there they are. So Johansson's got Metcalf behind him, but then Johnny's running at the head of this train, and actually it looks like Metcalf's putting Johansson under the larger amount of pressure as they start another lap, go up towards the Goodyear advertising board. I'm trying to look at the. Has there been a dropper in? No, I feel like we're missing someone from the top 5 of the LMP2s. Like that was the cause of that yellow flag just then. Actually, down the inside comes to Johansson. He's not going to be close enough though. Sorry.
That's fine. Let's stick with this just for a second to see if these guys can make a move. They used this. You can actually attack this next corner a lot more than you used to be able to. Back on previous sims, there was an enormous sausage curve on the inside of it that would launch you into orbit. They removed it when F1 came here because it would have, destroyed people. No one quite pushed to make move yet. That yellow flag appears to have been for Alex Woods and Dave Woods. So let's have a quick nosy.
Is there any relation?
No. It would be funny, but it's just an extraordinary coincidence instead. Has there actually been an incident, or was Ellen lying to us? Oh no, there was definitely an incident.
Right. There was a little bit of a smooch there between the front of both the LMP2s.
Dave had the issue there coming into the corner. Both of them late on the brakes. Oh, Dave. Oh, Dave. If ever there was a hold the brakes moment.
Yeah, that's a classic not hold the brakes sort of accident. Just then thinking, I can nip across the inside of the circuit and get out in front. Oh no. But he, at least he's got Alex Wood still fight with. There's one of the LMP2s off on the outside of the corner. Silver again. We do see this sometimes. Once you do have a spin, it just then I don't know. It's like chicken pox. Is it like chicken pox? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ways to describe it. Once you have one, there's more going to come. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Spins breed spins.
Yes.
Yeah. The flat tire model on these cars is very, very intense as well. I got one on the LMP3s last week and my hands actually went numb from the vibration. But Dave Wood getting the move done down into turn 1. Very careful not to go onto that big sausage curve on the inside. And now gets to try and see if he can gap Alex. Oh, Alex on the fight back though.
It's so good to see how close this LMP2 class is as well, because obviously there's a few cars between these two before they're little coming together, but you can just see both of them is kind of setting similar sort of pace here, and they're not really getting away from one another, and they are just allows them to apply a bit of pressure to one another, give us a little bit of fighting between them, and also gives them kind of a little bit of hope that they have the pace to catch up with the rest of the field as well. So it is nice to see, because as you can see, Alex would not really falling off the back of Dave still. Slick gap slightly going up, but they are making their way forward together at this point. And so, Dorich is very close to Farrell. I've just looked, 0.1 is the gap, actually just gone back up again, so they must have been pushing one another. But actually, I didn't realise Johnny Ashley getting onto the back of this battle as well now. So you've got Farrell, Dorich, Ashley fighting there. Then you've got Johansson as well, and then Metcalf as well in this battle. So look at all those cars. Oh my gosh, this is at least how many cars are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 car battle for. Actually, I was going to say for third, but I say Bronco's opened up the gap now, so I think it is Farrell who's the one under pressure from this massive pack of LMGT3s. And the thing is, once the LMP2s come and start lapping these guys, it's going to get a little bit trickier, because they're going to have such secure cars in the same part of the circuit to try and get past. It's going to be, it's really going to be where you find these cars makes or breaks your race. Luckily, actually, I didn't realise, front of the field, Cowley's gone to first. I think Bevan must have made a mistake that we didn't see. And James Cowley going on for 2 wins out of 2 now, and has a 3-second gap to Alfie.
Big gap. Alfie was like 5 seconds ahead of him.
Yeah, I assume he's been caught, like we've seen a lot this season, maybe just a little error, maybe a little lock-up has cost him some time. And as I've been saying, it's not all about the pace. It is just about trying to keep the car on the circuit in this series, it seems, at least definitely in the LMP2 class. because it does guarantee you a great result. As Kiesig now 0.4 to the lead, but sorry.
I suspect though it might be the LMP2s are starting to mix with the GT3s. So I wonder if they've run a foul in traffic.
That could definitely be the case because he hasn't lost too much time, but he has lost enough. So he could have just got the car in the wrong area, and that does add up. As Alfie's now going to try and come past this gaggle of GT3 machinery that's just up ahead of him. This absolute herd is he's going to have to try and move his way through. As he will make his way into the hairpin now, and he's just about to get to the rear end of Matthias Fusken. So this is going to be interesting to watch to see how he can dissect this set of cars. He runs up ahead, well behind him actually, so he's going to go down the inside of one. So he's got Fusken, now he's got to try and get Metcalf. He's going to have a little look up the inside into turn 8 there through Samson. He's going to now have to get onto the back of Johansson in that McLaren, who's also trying to make a move on Johnny. So the MB2 is going to go down the inside.
Oh, and he's
collected him.
Oh,
Johnny, he's going to the rear. Johnny,
Alfie's
hit him as well. Alfie's going to the side. That's given the lead to Adusa Carpenter. So Adusa Carpenter leads the LMP2 class. That looks like a lot of damage. I think definitely Alfie, a lot of damage to the front end of that car. Hasn't lost it, but you can see a lot of grey kind of scratches on the front of that. Big right-hand damage to the LMP2 of James Cowley. We're right on board now.
Yeah, it's coming over the crest. He's not going to have seen anything until... Ouch! Oh, that's there's a noise. Oh no!
That is the definition of blindsided into the corner. He
nothing he could have done there.
Literally, the BMW moves and it's the oNiD liveried LMP2 car there.
Something's happened to reduce a Carpenter. She's down fifth. Angela Scotti is leading the way.
So Adusa Carpenter now sits in 5th, and it's Scotty, as you say, leads the way. So Adusa Carpenter has obviously had some sort of error around the lap as well. So that's put Alfie currently now back up to 2nd in the LMP2 class. It puts Kovac up into 3rd, and Cowley and Adusa Carpenter 4th and 5th in that class now. So it's all changed at the top of the LMP2 field. I told you it would be all about how you can dissect this massive group of GT3 cars, and it looks like now that Angela Scott's going to get past one, just has a couple more to go now. Passes, I think that was Bronkvist. So now we only have to pass the miles up the road of Kiesig and Brown, actually, who are also quite close. Less than 2 attempts there briefly separated the pair of them as well. So it's all kicking off with just under 50 minutes now to go in this race. We'll come through the final corner between the two leaders in the LMGT3 class. It's Ben Brown going for their first win of the season, and Kiesig going for a 2nd win in a row from round 1 at Silverstone last weekend. Has really he's been on form as 2 pole positions this season so far, a win. So we'll surely love to make it another one here today as they make their way through turn 1, hopping over that sausage curb. Brown took a lot more of that. You can see the car porpoising a lot more on the exit of the corner as he landed back on the ground after being a bit greedy on that turning. You can see the LMP2 leader now of Angela Scott just behind. Big lock up there for Alfie Bevan as well. So they are obviously struggling with some sort of damage. They're not closing the gap at all to Angela Scott, who still leads the way in that class. But you got to remember as well, Angela Scott isn't someone that's avoided collisions in the MP2 class. Was collected by an MGT3 while lapping them last week through Stowe Corner. So again, they will have to be careful in this race. So we'll see what she does. She's going to try and go for the switch back on Kiesig. Kiesig pulls over to left-hand side of the circuit, lets them through, and actually that's going to it was an easy pass there past Brown, who didn't really have to do anything. It was just Scotty read the situation and went straight on through. So as they move up the gap to about half a second now, and Carpenter still less than a second between them and Kovac, so that could be a move up to 3rd again once they're able to find a way through. As the NMGT3 field is kind of opening up a little bit now. Dorich and Farrell, well, briefly over a second to the pair of them there. And actually, oh god, Fuskin and Johnny Ashley running 2 by 2 there. I think Fuskin's actually got the move done on Ashley. That's for 6th in class. No, that was
Alfie Bevan.
So Alfie's obviously still struggling, and that's dropped him outside the top 5 of the LMP2 class. So it's now, as it stands, Scotty, Cowley, Kovac, Carpenter and Hines. So let's see what's happened.
Yeah, that's not a happy looking car, is it?
Not at all.
That was tense.
I mean,
bit tense.
Yeah. I mean, eventually did get it going again, but as obviously they are now sitting in 10th in class, so not where Alfie would have wanted to be. Is there we go back to live images. I think actually no, now comes into the pit box to serve their stop, and there they are sitting in the pit lane, obviously getting those repairs. So that's basically the writing on the walls for our pole sitter in the LMP2s, and that's second week in a row now that the pole sitter, well, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but it's not looking good for the second week in a row that our pole sitter in the LMP2 class hasn't gone on to win. Could still be Cowley though, even though they were the one that was sideways, now find themselves up into second in that class. Scotty still leading the way as we follow them, about 5.3 seconds now ahead of the rest of the field as they make their way through the final corner and back onto the start-finish straight. With now they'll have to think about the next 45 minutes of this race, what they're going to do.
Long stint, that. It's a very long stint.
It is.
But if everyone else is going to have to make a stop, then hopefully Alfie will be able to pick some places back up. He's already out of the pits, so it wasn't a massively long stop for him.
I suppose he has now dropped a lap, and actually that's not good coming out of the pit box. Already flat spot in the front as he locks up, and obviously cold tyres coming out the pit lane. Oh, he's down. Oh, it's just pushed a little bit too early there. Got on the fold. Just out of turn 4 too early. There goes Cowley, or actually, I know, I think that's Tomlinson going past as yeah, just pushed a little bit too early. And I mean, it's not what you want to do on a new, if he has got, well, surely he's gone for a new set of tyres, and yeah, obviously pushing a little bit too early maybe on those cold ones, and he's going to be taking life out of them with these spins and little locking up moments. There's actually another yellow there. You can see a car off into the gravel. You can see the dust ascending up into the air.
Jacob Hine. So that Alfie was stopped for 50 seconds. So if it was only bodywork he damaged, he might have got away with it. But that looks like fuel and tyres to me. Oh, just a big lock, and that's a real wing gone. Take this moment to answer a question we've had to chat. Do we do 24-hour enduros here? So we have done. We're sort of waiting on LMU to get its driver change dialed in before we jump down that road a bit.
As Jacob Hine now crawls their way back to the pit lane. I mean, he's doing a good job though. Obviously, we saw a lot of issues last week with drivers losing their rear wings and then obviously spinning across the circuit. But Hine being very, very cautious on his way back to the pit lane, not taking too many risks, sticking to the speed they want to go at, and it is obviously they're losing time by the speed they're going, but at least they're not throwing it off the track. Oh, big off by Lamborghini in the background. I think that's is that Simon Harris? I think it's in a Lamborghini. I'm not too sure. That was a massive off though in a straight line. Went onto the grass.
Oh god, that's a very broken car.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't lost any wheels. Owl has stopped though, so is that going to be potentially a DNF for Harris? We'll wait just a second.
Yeah,
there it is. So I think that's our first one of the night, and yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there. They just seemed to start run across the grass on the start finish straight there. Obviously the car was like, no, I'm going very quickly, I do not want to go onto the grass, and there's the end of it, bang into the wall.
Not quite sure
Luckily,
reverse, but
just avoided, I think, by one of the woods there, and Oh,
That's Tyres Fusion apparently having an incident as well, all on his own.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
let's see if we can... Oh god, no, it is. I thought the track was going, the game was going in reverse for a second. No, it was Harris actually running backwards.
Yeah, I mean, he's had big rear end damage to that car. Is that a Barwell livery on that as well? Am I mistaken? Yeah, I'm impressed. I knew that. But yeah, so it's well, yeah, that's our first DNF, and obviously a big off. We saw him run both the left-hand tyres onto the grass of the Portimao straight there, and it, obviously going at that speed onto the grass, it is going to unsettle the car, and obviously got a little bit of a tank slapper on, and went off in a big way in the end. As 7 tenths is all that's separating Ben Brown and Kiesig still. It's going to be interesting to see though, because obviously they're fighting at this point, but how much is Christian Kiesig saving at the
If
moment?
these two are fuel saving, I'm astonished at this juncture. Because not only are they setting, have they been within tenths of each other for the entire race so far, they're pulling away from everyone. They're 13 seconds ahead of Frank Dorrick in third.
Yes, I mean, we were saying this last week. Kiesig was just miles up the road. He was like, "Oh, I've checked out everyone," and then he didn't even do a pit stop. I don't think in the end. I think from what we can work out, I don't think he actually pitted. So it's just phenomenal, and he does it. It's not even like he's good at one game. It's just he can do it on this, and he can do it on a set of course competizione as well. He's just
Annoying,
he's just
isn't
very
it?
good. Yeah, it's like well, you just sit here and think, how have you done that?
Yes.
How do you do that? How are you that good? Anyway, it's battle for 7th now. It's Max Farrell who's dropped outside the top 5 of the LMGT3 field. And funny how this is shaken up. Ashley now into the top 5 of that class. Blomqvist 4th. Dorich now 3rd. It's all changed there, and actually probably won't continue to change throughout this race. But we'll look at Johansson and Max. Actually, no, yes, Johansson and Max Farrell fighting with one another. As the door opens a little bit for Johansson there. It's going to stick the McLaren up the inside and is just not close enough to stay alongside. Can't keep the momentum up to stay with Max Farrell. So one of the LMP2s off the circuit there. They're luckily just about out the way of this battle as 40 minutes remaining in this race as we'll make our way again onto the start finish straight in just a moment after we've gone through this right-hander. You can see the crowds in the background. 5-star hotel at this circuit, I can tell you as well. So a good one if you want to stay at it. As onto the yeah, I mean I wouldn't say it's my personal favourite, but I can see why people like it. It's a bit of a roller coaster. As they'll make their way into turn 1 up towards turn 2, and this battle kind of plateauing a little bit here. I mean, the gap's still only 5 tenths between the pair of them, but no real overtaking opportunity, although that was a little bit wide by Max Powell. That's slightly opened the door up for Daniel Johansson here to maybe have a look down into turn 5. We'll have a look because they'll go in. The McLaren looks the inside, but then go straight back to the racing line. It realises they aren't close enough to get the move done. It's going to try and get the traction down the exit. One of the LMP2s has collected one of the BMWs there, and it seems like Turner Hammer's made contact with the rear of that car as well. Yeah. The Ferrari spinning it around the BMW around further. I don't suppose you can tell me who's on that LMP2. I'm not sure who runs in the Iron Links livery.
I'm hoping for it to come up and tell me. I think it might be Frank Vevic. Let's have a look.
You actually know that? Yeah, yes. I think you are right. Yes, it is.
I'm not sure this is the incident, to be honest.
No, this is the spin. So we saw this spin when we're riding with the other drivers in that class, and you can see just loses it by themselves. Just, I think, rather than a lockup, I think just kind of all got on the power just a little bit too early, spun the car around. Lucky to not get collected by Fusgen as they run out of the corner, and obviously Vevic then on a little bit of charge to make up that time. Obviously then has to redo all the work they've just done in lapping those LMP2 cars that they've just done before, and they'll make
incidents on the sheet. So let's stick with this on the replay and see what happened.
Yeah,
a few seconds back.
Well, to be honest, I could see, when we were following the other 2 cars, I could just see the lunge that Vevic put on in the background, and I think he passed like 4 cars in the braking zone for turn 5. So I think it's just a little bit too aggressive into the corner. We'll see now, obviously is caught up to the rear of these cars. There's Hammer, you can see in his Ferrari, and as they now just come into the brakes, you'll see he'll get Tyler Hammer, and I think he's just going to spear straight into the rear of the BMW.
He's locked it. Yeah.
And then bang.
Yeah, Tyler gets to the back of the BMW as well, and that's a 3-car pilot. I think I've turned off the replay. Let's have a look.
We'll see. As well, Vivek's now 10 seconds up the road from Silver. It still hasn't really come back after that, whereas at the start of this race. Still, we'll give you an update on top 5 of the MP2, so I don't think it's changed too much. Still Scotty leading the way, Cowley 3 seconds back, Kovacs in 3rd, Tomlinson makes up 4th in that class down, it is Carpenter now 5th, so I think Tomlinson may have made up a position at some point during all of that. It's still the same in the LMGT3s when I gave the update last time, as we still follow Johansson and Max Farrell. They're still running right with one another, and it seems a tight line there taken by the McLaren. They could open up the door, but then there goes the LMP2 leader. Could present an opportunity though. It's going to push the BMW maybe wider around this final turn, and it will scrub off some of the speed onto the straights, and maybe this could be an opportunity for Daniel Johansson to have a look to go up to 7th position in the LMGT3 class. He darts to the outside of the corner into the braking zone for turn 1. It's going to be a late braking defensive move by Max Farrell, who's just about keeps on the circuit and defends that inside line. It looked like Johansson struggled to get the car turned in for the corner, and actually he's going to try and be opportunist as one of the LMP2 snuck up the inside. Farrell's going to try and follow them through. They'll run through turn 4 onto the straight, but Max Farrell just about keeps Daniel Johansson at bay. Maybe one last gasp opportunity into turn 5. He's going to look down the inside. He's alongside just about door to door, and they're going to run side by side on exit. They rub wheels, the front left of the BMW touching the rear right of that McLaren. They'll still run side by side now, and it's, as you say, lucky not to have this sausage curb on turn 7 here. So now as they go into turn 8, they're now blocking one of these spike cars, and they're still running side by side. They've been side by side for 3-4 turns now, as they now will start their way up towards Craig Jones, turn 9, and it's around the outside, a move kept by Max Farrell as long as Daniel Johansson can't find a way through here at turn 11. And actually, yeah, in the end it is Max Farrell who just about holds on to that.
That was some door banging, wasn't it? That's
it was.
Well, I'm not averse to a bit of door banging, but these two were definitely very much alongside each other for a good portion of that, and it's not over yet. Johansson right there with Farrell as they come down through the slow right-handers towards that big plunge back to the start-finish straight.
Yeah, so
dropped just a couple of attempts there.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to have the same sort of opportunity, because I think the LMP2 really helped that opportunity there for Daniel Johansson. It just pushed the BMW of Farrell offline coming through that final turn, and obviously it took away all the momentum he had onto that start finish straight, which gave the McLaren just such an opportunity to get alongside into turn 1. But oh my gosh, they're going to be in a little bit of a worry now, because look at that massive group of LMP2 cars now. They're just going to come past them in just a second. So there they go. Here they come through. So actually, I think luckily they should get them before the hairpin here. They'll get onto the brakes, and actually yeah, luckily the LMGT3s there, both of them have slotted into a gap. But the interesting thing here is, can Daniel Johansson find a gap again with the help of some of the LMP2s trying to make their way through? And actually, I think it's actually cost them a little bit of time, because they've been pushed offline through turn 7 there. And actually, yeah, the gap going up to about 8 tenths there for just a momentary second. And actually, once this LMP2 goes around the outside of the BMW, it should mean they're clear for a while.
Absolutely, it's just past them into Craig Jones. But Johansson is desperate to get this move done. Clearly feels he has the pace over Farrell, but he's just not able to find a way past through that dirty air, through those hard braking zones. Runs a little bit wide there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though. You see this a lot in racing. You can have the pace advantage over the car ahead, but you need enough of a one to get past it. It seems Daniel Johansson has enough to stay with the BMW, but just about doesn't have that little edge, that little bit extra to be able to get alongside him through. And it is going to be up. I think it is just as it stands. It is going to be up to an LMP2 car catching Max Farrell in the wrong spot. To allow Daniel Johansson an opportunity to potentially move up to 7th in that class. So we've still got Tyler Hammer, who's just about 8 tenths ahead of Andy Hearn, who these two making up the latter half of the top 10 in the LMGT3 class. So some flags out briefly. Oh, they come out again, go away again. And yeah, you can see Andy Hearn has a little bit of fuse gun issue. The BMW really sitting nearly under the BMW's diffuser as they wait their way towards the hairpin now. It's the fuse gun was running higher up in this class, but it just seems to have dropped back as the race has gone on, as it still seems like Andy Hearn's doing a good job of staying ahead. Fuse gun gets a tighter exit there. He seems to get on the traction a little bit earlier, and actually that has closed up the gap even more between the pair of them. So as they now go through turn 7 up towards turn 8, not really an overtaking opportunity. Fuse gun did think about it. He was much later on the brakes than Andy Hearn was through that section of the circuit, and it does look like Hearn's under a lot of pressure by the Monster Energy liveried driver as they will make their way up through turn 10, now into the double-barreled 11, as now onto the power again. It's not really an overtaking part of the circuit though for Mateusz Fuskin, which is going to be a little bit frustrating. Again, just seems a lot stronger on the brakes coming into the corner than what Hearn is, but it's really going to be what sort of traction he can get out of this next corner, and then how much of that he can continue to keep through the final bend in order to try and set himself up for a move into turn 1. So we'll see as they both make a turn in now. It's one line taken by the Porsche. That's given him a tighter exit. The BMW runs a little bit wider, which seems to give the Porsche a little bit of an advantage in a straight line, but the gap really, is it coming? Yeah, it is coming down enough. That slipstream is working very effectively. So as we ride on board with the Porsche coming into turn 1, he's going to really close up on the brakes again, but just not close enough. Tyler Hammer has an issue ahead of them, so this could become a three-way fight for 9th in the LMGT3 class. But Andy Hearn is run wide, maybe put off by the Ferrari ahead. That's going to let Fuskin get alongside and actually maybe perform the switchback. Hearn's aware of it though, blocks the inside as they come onto the straights yet again and past whatever that circular building is. Now onto the brakes for the hairpin. There's a battle going on ahead as well, I think, with one of the other Porsches, and a little bit of contact between the two of them as down the inside goes Mateusz Fuskin up to 9th position now, but that might be more because I'm sure on the inside of that corner was Johansson facing the wrong way, and he's McLaren, so they're still going to run side by side into turn 8, and actually Andy Hearn is with that tight line through the 7 and 8. Oh no, but it's not rear end. He's got a little bit too confident as he thought he had the move done, but got on the power too early, and now has actually dropped back to 10th and has gifted the move and position to Mateusz Fuskin in the end there.
Yeah, it just did not happen in the end there. It's not catching every instant. I don't know what happened to Hansen there. We saw him spun up on the inside. I
did see there was maybe three of them fighting for place there, so I assume Max Farrell was involved as well. And I'm sure there was another car, so whoever's now behind Max Farrell may have been involved, but it looked like there was a 3-car fight there just out of that chicane, so maybe just a little bit of 3 into 1 don't go. So Max Farrell, who's he running with? Hein is actually the car behind, and Ashley's now into the pit, so that's seen some pit stops now as I'm just trying to work it out. Who's there? Ashley, Fuskin's 25. I'm sure there was 3 of them running together, so maybe the LMP2 car got involved with them as well, but it just I'm sure there was 3 cars having a little bit of a fight that I saw in the corner of my eye.
Yeah, we've definitely got people to pit. Dan Stevenson now coming in for a stop. Johnny Ashley is completing a stop, has been stopped for a little while there. 20, just coming up to 30-second stopped is Johnny. I'm not going to keep us on these guys for too long, so gave Aidan some grief for focusing too much on pit stops earlier in the week. Jimmy Scotty is still out in front and still managing that gap. It's been at about that 4 seconds for the last 10, 15 laps.
Is doing a great job of managing it as 3.8, 20 seconds then Kovac to Cowley. So yeah, I mean it's very reminiscent of the Grand Prix yesterday. I don't like to do comparisons between the two, but it is. It's like Lando Norris in lead by 20 seconds, and then Charles Leclerc's just that little bit is the closest one, just a little bit off of Lando in the race. Is John Metcalf is running up behind one of the well, I think actually this may be a lap because there's currently not vying for position, these two, so whoever that is going to pull off to the, I think it's Dean Smith actually, now I think about it. He's going to pull off to the right hand side of the circuit and now into the braking zone for the corner, and through they go. So that's Metcalf into 18th. Max Farrell is now 19th in the car behind because they've obviously come in for their stop in this race. Then there you go, Matthias Busgen now into the pit lane as well as their people start to come in for their stops. We've got about 26 minutes to go. It'll be interesting to see what happens at the front of that LMGT3 class because Brown, is Brown come in? Because he's lost the lead, because I don't think he has, because it's Kiesig now leads the way in the LMGT3. Brown 5 seconds behind, so I'm not sure if we've missed that. Yeah,
something's happened to Ben Brown there.
Yeah, so I assume there's been a little mistake there by Ben Brown, which is obviously gifted the lead of the race to Kiesig. So that's obviously a change of lead and in the LMGT3 class. And as I mentioned, it could be a 2 out of 2 here now for Kiesig, who's looks on to do that. I mean, it's still a long way to go in this race, but he is a very hard driver to beat. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as Dan Steffens and Alex Wood here having a nice little fight. Off in the background.
Off in the background. That was Jarrett Page. Let's embarrass him a bit more.
Well, yeah. Cut back to see what happens, Page. Here he is.
Just, I think a touch late on the brakes. Car locks and it just loops on him. Keeps it out of the barrier though, is able to get going after a visit to the sandpit. Oh, that's not normal.
And then defies gravity and then leaves. But there you go, back to live images. There they go on to the straight. So Carmen's closing on Tomlinson again inside that top 5. Here's Dan Steffens and Alex Wood with one another as they start their way around the lap as we'll follow them down the straight. There we go. Here's Adusa Carpenter and Dan Tomlinson. And actually, the gap now we've gone to them was nearly at a second, but closing up again into that braking zone. We have seen Adusa Carpenter briefly lead the race, but had a little bit of a moment themselves at some point, which then drops them back down the order to 5th, which is why the order is currently what it is. Angela Scott still leading the way. Adusa Carpenter is going to spoil us that battle because they are going to come into their pit stall and bring the car in for their stop during this race. So we will come back to Dan Steffens and Alex Wood, the interior pole car, up against the iRacing Spike liveried car. I always wonder how they can call it Spike because it just reminds me of the video game character. But anyway, we'll carry on as they move up into turn 13. I'm sure there's a lawsuit in there somewhere. But now through turn 14 gets the switch back to Alex Wood. He's going to try and get alongside. Oh, nearly onto the grass there by Alex Wood. He just about... Yeah, no, massive squeeze. He just about found the space, but sadly there was 2 LMGT3 cars in his way. One of them being Max Farrell, one of the other BMWs caught up in that as well. So now they go back onto the start-finish straight, and unfortunate for Alex Wood there because that was really opportunistic there. He literally used all the circuit to get alongside Spike there, and it just didn't work out, which means Dan Steffens is going to hold on. And actually, it's going to run side by side, I believe, with that's the Adusa Carpenter, who's on some cold tyres, who they're both going to try and run around the outside of Alex Wood. Just about gets the job done. It nearly makes contact with the front end of the fellow Orica there, but is able to keep it all together and on circuit. So now as they come into the hairpin, it'll be interesting to see how long these two stay out for ahead, as Medusa's going to have probably better pace once those tyres do start to warm up, as there they go, making their way past John Metcalf now. And is Alex Wood going to look to the outside? He is going to the outside. He's going to try and perform a switch back up the hill. Will get the better traction, and actually that is going to mean they're going to run side by side now as they go up through Craig Jones and into turn 11. Great move there by Alex Wood to slot ahead there.
Right up the full length of Craig Jones there. It is doable, as we just saw. It's a difficult place to get past. You've got to give a lot of credit to the other car for giving space there, but very much got the move done, did Alex, and is now going to try and pull away from Dan Stevens a bit. Juice Carpenter behind them as well. They will be getting blue flags from her car, so it's not an easy one to get away with. They're going to have to, once she gets her tyres up to temperature, they're going to start feeling the pressure to get out of the way for her. Of course, no one obliged to leap out the way in these races. It is an advisory flag. You're expected to not defend and let the faster car make their move. You're not obliged to leap out the way, Formula 1 style. Oh, and that's Dan Stevens' round.
Yeah, I looked away for just a second and then looked up, and there was a big cloud of white smoke in a purple car going exiting stage left. So yeah, Stefan's off the circuit in 10th. I think was probably rejoined just ahead. Another yellow flag out as well, as things currently stand. That was a very quick one though, and actually has disappeared once again. I mean, it does give Alex Wood now an opportunity to push on without too much pressure on themselves, as Elvin Blomqvist here with Fran Doric for position here, as they will make their way, will descend down the hill and up towards turn 13. The Iron Lynx livery.
In LMGT3, this they are fighting for.
Oh.
So it's definitely going to cause a fight, this one.
Yeah, so they just need to get a little bit closer to one another, because Doric 1.1 ahead. There you go. Yeah, so 1.1 separates the pair of them. That's not going to help Elvin Blomqvist and LMP2 just catching it where it did. We saw this a couple of laps ago, so it obviously caused Elvin Blomqvist to run a little bit wider through that section of the circuit, also, which is ultimately going to nullify their top end speed down this straight, which is, as you can see, the gap was actually slightly going up there before the braking zone. Did peak at about 1 second as Alfie round the outside of Dan Steffens onto the start-finish straight, picked the traffic there to perfection. It's like you're picking a cucumber out of a salad, just knew exactly where you wanted to go.
If I ever ate a salad, I'd probably agree with you. It's, but they are pushing. There's a few more battles starting to pick up again after the pit stop phase. There's a lot of LMGT3 drivers who have not pitted. Ben Brown is not one of them. He has completed a pit stop. Comes out down in 9th in class in P22.
So there you go. I mean, this is the thing now. It's interesting to see what Kiesig does in this. It's because obviously we know how long they can run for. So all of that looks a little bit interesting there. Ben tried to get on the power, and definitely a lot of rear wheel spin on the tyres there as Vivek goes up on through. So yeah, we'll see what Brown can do from here. Obviously we'll have to see what everyone else's strategies like. As Vivek goes straight on there, I think, because I'm not sure if they made the corner in the end, because no they didn't. See, just in the left hand corner of your screen they just see quite a bit of dust up on the outside of that circuit. Well, I think Vivek had ended up in the gravel, but as this gap is actually consistently coming down at 8.7 seconds now, and actually I think this could be an interesting opportunity for Elvin Blomqvist. I don't think it's going to have the pace, but it's going to close up massively down the straight, because what happened to Blomqvist last lap just happened to Fran Doric on that lap, and it has meant it's obviously, as I used the phrase last lap, nullified the top end advantage of the Doric Mercedes AMG, which has allowed Elvin Blomqvist there briefly to catch to 0.6. There's Johnny Ashley off to the right hand side of the circuit there. Has he got front end damage, and is he missing a tyre? Because he looked like he was digging the ground up there.
It looks like
It just looked like
something.
he's really struggling.
Let's have a look. As it comes down, gets on, doesn't hit the sausage cups, gets on a little bit, just loops. That can't have taken the tire off, surely.
No,
No.
I must have been wrong.
Well, that was a long looping spin that's cost Johnny a lot of places there.
Yeah,
And then LMU decides to do strange things.
I was laughing at whoever's in the spike car behind them there, just literally took off and went, whee! Just gone. What was his Johnny anyways, running 25th overall in this race, and 25th, and he'll be running somewhere in 10th. Actually, no. Yeah, somewhere around 10th or 9th in the LMGT3 class. We'll see it in just a second once the screen does update. As we'll see, there we go. There goes Angela. Actually, no, James Cowley into the pit lane here. But will he? The interesting thing is, will he go for the? Will they repair the damage here?
They can do a damage and fuel if he feels the tyres are okay. The tyres will easily do the length of this race. But depending on how badly you've locked them up and how much you like the feeling in your wrist. But that's a very quick stop. I'll try not to stay on pit stops for too long, but he was closing the gap to Scotty in a big way. So presumably he's trying an undercut here. Goes down to 4th, but none of the 3 drivers ahead of him have stopped yet.
I don't suppose you have a track map as well, because I was going to say it looks quite a clear part of circuit that they're coming onto as well. Look, nothing, and just ahead that McLaren.
So answer, I have one. I can't figure out how to get it up on screen.
But can you see now how clear he has to the next car ahead?
No. Okay.
I was going to say as well, someone bring up the CT Cup in chat. Obviously, there's a lot of good, decent runners.
My track map appears to be running behind, so it's not really telling us that much. But Scotty is in the pits, so now see if Cowley's gamble has paid off.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. So Cowley, as you see, just going through turn 11 there. Obviously, Scotty in the pit lane as it stands. So still, basically the whole of the final sector. Well, when I started that sentence, the whole of the final sector for James Cowley still to do while Scotty was in the pit lane. Obviously, we'll be carrying the momentum over Scotty in a straight line once now, because they'll carry the momentum from here all the way down to turn 1. So we'll have to see whereabouts Scotty is once Cowley comes down the straight. I think Scotty's out.
Yeah. Was exactly 5 seconds quicker. So whatever repairs or tyre change, don't think it'll be tyre change, possibly a little bit extra fuel. But it has cost Cowley. He was 2 seconds behind when he came into the pits. He's 7.6 back now. With 14 minutes to go, give or take, that's a lot of space to make up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to require some quick laps from Cowley, but I mean, it's not. I mean, second isn't a bad shout because obviously when last time out, second this time out, it's still very strong start to the season, and obviously it's still going to be a strong points total for them come the end of the season as long as they're consistent in turning up to the races. As Alfie Bevan is right onto the rear of Alex Wood here. He's going to look down the inside into turn 1, made use of all that slipstream. Wood's going to try and run around the outside, but it's going to run out of circuit onto that green rumble strip on the outside of the track, and it does mean that Alfie seems to be through. Alex Wood trying to come back was really into the rear of Bevan as they might their way onto the straight. Thank you, M96 Crow Carter has joined the community. Thank you very much for the follow. As Wood still onto the rear, but just seems to lose a little bit of traction just coming out of the hairpin there. Lost at the rear end slightly, and that's allowed they open the gap up to about 6 tenths. And then that John Metcalf, BMW, actually no, Max Farrell, I believe, actually BMW, just getting in the way as well. There is just just killed that battle off for Alex Wood. Now the gap nearly at 2 seconds just because of finding that car in the wrong part of the circuit. So it does mean that Alfie is pretty safely, he looks pretty safely inside the top 9 in this field. And will now, it's going to be a pretty mammoth task, but he's going to have to try and find at least 18 seconds to Vivek if he wants to try and make his way up into 8th in this field. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I mean, I was thinking it was a long way, but the thing is, it is Alfie. So but that is a tall order.
Frank is pitting at the moment, so we'll definitely take P8. Everyone has pitted except Frank Vivek, who is now doing his stop. And oh no, I tell them like Andy Hearn and Daniel Hansen have just done theirs as well. Actually, the two people who haven't in the LMGT3s, Tyler Hammer in P2 and Christian Keating in P1.
Oh, and only 11 minutes and just over 10 seconds to go in that.
No way he will be able to do a 1 hour 5 minute race without stopping. Surely.
Well, I'm going to use an Anchorman meme and go, I don't believe you. Because I don't know. He can. He's magic. He has he's just, I don't know. There's many times where I've heard people going, no, he can't do that. He can't do that. And then he does it. Because, I mean, yeah, so...
it's going to be one of those, isn't it? He's going to somehow manage it and be.
You think there's like a Tesco Express, he like goes in like halfway through the race that he missed, like, and he just fills up.
Oh, Tyler Hammer does come in for his pit stop now, leaving Christian Keesing as the only person who hasn't pitted apart from Dean Smith, who is down in P27.
Okay, as we still follow Alfie. Actually, that's incredible how much that gap's opened up in just the moments we've been watching him. Obviously, 2 seconds after he got stuck behind that car for Alex Wood, but now 6.5 seconds is already the gap that separates them all. We'll come to, here is Christian running, the car behind is about, oh no, car ahead is 55 seconds ahead, but that is an LMP2, so I don't think he has to worry. Oh my goodness.
Go for the pits.
Oh my gosh. This is like, I don't know, this is a moment of like, you need a photograph to believe it. It's like if the Titanic sank, it's like, it's up there with, moments in history. Christian Keesig has come in for a pit stop.
It's a 50-second gap to Ben Brown behind him when he came into the pits. Again, normally I wouldn't spend this much time focused on a pit stop, but this is for the lead. If Keesig comes out now, still in the lead, he's got it, surely.
Well, there's only one way to find out, and it will be once he gets to the end of this pit lane and gets off the limiter. Actually, no, he's going to be fine, though, because that's Brown. Yeah.
Hasn't even started down the long downhill yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can only presume by this point, Kiesig's already on the power and probably into turn 1 as we're speaking. So, Brown not able to come back at Keesig, and actually I think that will be it's kind of interesting because I think we are just going to have a repeat of the LMGT3 class from last time out. Yes, we are, because the only difference is going to be 3rd position. So instead of Johnny Ashley in the LMGT3 class, I did just miss it there. It will be once the screen loads, I'll be able to tell you. Scroll to the next one, Elvin Blomqvist. Yeah, so instead of Ashley, it will be Elvin Blomqvist in the top 3 of that class. So yeah, so it's nearly an identical thing. Well, at least for the top 3. in that field, as Tyler Hammond's actually only one position down from where he finished last time as well. So it'd be 3 out of 5 nearly in the GT3 Class 4 positions if Tyler Hammond makes up one more place. So it's interesting considering how close they were at the start of this race, how nearly similar the result is. As 2.2 at 6. Oh, that's crazy.
He's made up nearly 5 seconds in 5 minutes, give or take. He is
so yeah.
Charge. In fact, he's pops out. We should be able to see Scotty ahead.
Yeah, there is Scotty just up the road. Gap less than 2 seconds now. That is really coming down. So it seems whatever Cowley's done differently in that pit stop seems to be really working out, and it seems to just given him a bit of a pace. Well, actually, not even a bit. Well, not monstrous, but it definitely there's a pace advantage there between Angelo Scotti and James Cowley. The gap really coming down. 1.6, 1.7 it goes up to. And now as they go through 10 and 11, it's 1.6, 1.5 through there. So this seems the middle sector doesn't seem to be as bad for Angelo Scotti, who seems to be managing that gap through that. James Cowley is not too much. He's got too confident. He's going to try and spin the car around very quickly. But he's undone all of that work. Gap 7.1 seconds. It just needed to stay on the circuit, and that would have been. It looks bang on for maybe a class and overall victory there for James Cowley, but he's thrown it away just there in that moment, just a little bit too eager. And it looks like the wind may have slipped from their grasp. 6 minutes to go, but as we said, gained about 5 seconds in 5 minutes. So it's going to be a tall order, even if he's on that pace.
If he has got that pace, he might be. Let's have a look at the last couple of laps. The last couple of laps, Cowley with that spin was a 141. Angelo Scotti was a 137. That's 2 seconds off her best lap pace.
Yeah. So is it rather that Scotty's seems to be running a lot slower than they were compared to what Cowley... Maybe, I don't know if Scotty got the strategy wrong and is potentially trying to save.
I'm wondering if she's into fuel and he's having to fuel save.
Yeah, I mean that definitely points towards that. 2 seconds off. That is a lot. So it suggests that Scotty is trying to save this later stage in the race. Here's Jarrett Page and Jacob Hine. This is for 12th and 13th in the LMP2s. We'll see what happens here. They come through turn 7 up towards turn 8 now of the circuit, up through to Sampson. We'll head towards Craig Jones now, and it's actually going to be side by side as they go through Craig Jones. It's going to be Jacob Hine trying to go around the outside of Jarrett Page. They're still side by side. It's going to be inside line though for Jacob Hine. He's going to have the tyre line, leaving it late on the brakes though is Jarrett Page to run it around the outside. They're still side by side now as they make their way through turn 12 up the hill towards turn 13. It's going to be the inside line and probably the position for Jarrett Page. No, it's not. He spun it. He's locked up and spun 180 degrees. So that's going to lose him 2 positions. As it seems one of the other LMP2s has gone through. I can't see who. Actually, no, I think that may have been a lap down though, because it's still Hine and Page on the same lap for 12th and 13th position. So that's basically secured that place for Hine, who's solidified 12th in class by the looks of it, and will probably stay there because it's then 30 seconds to Fevic, who's massive, quite far up the road. He's in the next county. So it's not looking on for them. We'll come to Elvin Blomqvist though, and Fran Dorsch. Blomqvist trying to hold on to the final podium position in the LM GT3 class. It's weird to put LM in front of GT3. It hurts my brain. I go to say LMP. Now as they go out of 13 through 14, they've got some of the LMP2s running up behind. It's going to interfere in this battle. It's one of them, Zach Silver, and actually no, the other LMP2's just dropped off and let the other LMP2 through. It's a little bit awkward between all of them, to be honest. But now as they come through this corner, Dorich trying to close up onto the rear end of Blomqvist. Blomqvist well, it seems like George got the better momentum out of that corner. It is closing up in a straight line. It is coming down quite considerably, that gap. I think it's going to have to be a second and a half if they want to try and do something into turn one. And it's not there. It's definitely, yeah, they've definitely thought about it, but yeah, just too far back. Oh, they're there though, and they're going to make contact into the rear. Pushing, pushing. Oh, he's pushed by the circuit. We're getting a bit touring car racing now.
Yeah, that was cheeky.
That was definitely a push to pass, I would say. Definitely just helped Elvin Rockfist around as they left Lagos there. And I think Fran Doric knew it and has actually allowed Elvin Rockfist to take the position back. And actually, interestingly, Cowley still 7.4 seconds back from Scotty.
Yeah,
so
I think Scotty's fuel-saving days are over. She's now setting, she's now last lap 136.116 to a 137.312 for Cowley.
Okay,
I think
so
the pace has been officially picked up.
Yeah, I mean, not that they have to though. 7 seconds now, only less than 2 minutes to go in the race. It looks like, pending any errors, Angela Scott is on to win this, as these two are still deciding who's going to finish off the podium in the LMGT3 class, and it's still Frandorich trying to find a way through, and they're going to have a monstrous slipstream as they come onto the start finish straight, as long as they can stay as close as they are currently to Elvin Bonfist. Bonfist is just a little bit more offline, a little more curves taken around there, you can see by Frandorich now as they round the final corner through Gallop 15 down the hill past the massive DHL advertising. The MP2 comes through on the inside, the gap just over 4 tenths as they come down the straight, and it's going to close up to under 4 tenths, and it's going to be a really nice slipstream. Very tucked in there is Fran Doric on the back of Elvin Blomqvist, but still not close enough. It's going to close up onto the brakes through turn 1 and now through 2 up towards turn 3. They're going to get aggressive around here again. I don't think they are. They're going to have to try and force Blomqvist offline or force them into some sort of mistake as they make their way down towards turn 5 now, and there's going to be a little bit of slipstream help here, but again it's going to have to be a send and a half if they want the position, and it's there's no send there at all. It's Cowley actually losing 2 seconds to the leader as well. 9 seconds is the lead that Angela Scott currently has at this point in the race, and assuming onto their final lap as well, because only 24 seconds to go in the race. I think that was Jarrett Page, I think, on the inside.
Yeah, it was indeed. Jarrett's having a little bit of a mare. But I think this will be the last lap. In fact, I think Scotty's going to make sure it's the last lap. I think she's backed off there by a couple of seconds.
Well, yeah, I mean, Scotty, really, it's just, again, it's the same as last week. We didn't qualify as well as some others, but has just been consistent throughout this race, has managed the race really well at the front of the grid, and Cowley made the mistake, Scotty didn't. So Scotty's going to come across the line to win round 2 of the OLMS series here at Portimao. It's a great victory by Angela Scott. She's done all she could in that race, and it's a brilliant victory. James Cowley's going to have to settle for second, but I mean, the first and the second start of the season, it's going to be a strong championship by Cowley again, by the looks of it, as we have Janos Kovac up against Aduza Carpenter here. It looks like Kovac is going to hold on to third as long as Aduza can't get any closer. They're going to come up towards the final turn. Oh, is that LMGT3 going to get in the way? No. Kovac has got past, I think, just about well enough there. So as they come up towards the start-finish line, just Janos Kovac is going to hold on to third and the final podium position. Aduza Carpenter gave it a good go at the end there, but it was only 4 attempts off in the end, as we'll come back to Christian Kiesig and Ben Brown, as Brown's still 15 seconds down the road. So Kiesig, again, it's another masterclass in strategy and pace, it seems, and it's going to be 2 wins from 2 this season, and I mean, I don't think we expect any more from Christian Kiesig in an NMGT3 car, especially a Porsche as well. I think that's Johansson just going off the circuit there. I don't think they made contact, but I mean, that would definitely secure the McLaren onto the well, actually no, it would have been on its final lap anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, not a great way to finish the race, but anyway, great way to finish for Christian Kiesig, who is going to round out another victory here in the LMGT3 class as they come up towards start finish line and a nice little Porsche photo op as they come across the line as well. As Ben Brown, it's going to be 2 seconds from 2 starts, so it's a stronger start than last season in the GT3 weekender we had on Sundays. So Ben Brown, second 2 in a row now, so definitely is keeping Kiesig in their grasp. So an off week for the Porsche driver. Ben Brown is still definitely there championship wise as well. So as we see some our drivers coming across the line, that should round out round 2 of the oNiD SimHound OLMS series here at Portimao. And well, I mean, I think that was a pretty good race.
It really was. Now here comes the fun moment of has Ben remembered to set up the microphones on the hold screen. We will jump across. Actually, let's see if the result screen works first. Bear with. It does indeed.
Oh, there we are.
Angela Scotti takes the win from James Cowley. Janis Kovacs bringing up third in the field. Edusa Carpenter takes a very good fourth from Dan Tomlinson. Zach Silver will have wondered what could have been. Starting P2, finishes P6, just ahead of Dave Wood. Alfie Bevan, our pole man, running into strife, finishes the race in P8. Just with Alex Wood and Dan Stevens to follow up. It's Frank Vevic from Jacob Hine. And in the LMGT3s, Christian Kiesig takes the win ahead of Ben Brown. Jarrett Page there mixing it in, and the server kicks us out. Just ahead of the... hang on, let me just... I can't click on that because it's... Bear with... Let's get us somewhere we can and it's taking the results away from us anyway because we're no longer in the server. Okay. So, yeah. Where were we? Yes, it was Elvin Blomqvist in P3 with Frein Dorich in P4. John Metcalf in P5. Max Farrell in P6 ahead of Tyler Hammer and Andy Hearn in P7 and 8. Hovsep Nazarian in P9 ahead of Daniel Johansson in P10. Christian Schlink takes P11 ahead of Elliot Lewis. And Dean Smith comes in P13 ahead of Matthias Fusken. We missed what happened at the end there, but our DNFs, unfortunately, are Johnny Ashley, Simon Harris, Manny Steiner, Johannes Mueller, and Anton Temenga.
There you go. That is round 2 of the series. Obviously, it's we're going to be heading off next week to round 3 of the championship, and it's going to be a homecoming, Le Mans default layout next week. So that should give us some great racing. Obviously, this home of endurance racing for our competitors. So that should give us something fun to watch. Whereas for the rest of the week, you've got Tuesday you've got Scotty and Aidan commentating on AC, I believe, for the Audi TT Cup.
Yes.
Then on Wednesdays as well, you've got the Academy Series with Aidan and Tyler Hammer on LMU. All the stream starts at, I think 10 to 8 for the ACC stuff. Should be 8 o'clock on Wednesday for the Academy. And then Thursday, you've got the iRacing Series, which I believe is the Clubman Series, with oNiD, with Aidan and Koshin. I haven't met Koshin.
That is Jarrett Page.
Jarrett Page. Sorry, I saw the art and I didn't recognise the name, but there you go. So there you go. You've got Aidan and Jarrett Page to be taking you through commentary on Thursday at 8 o'clock this week as well. So there's some of the streams we've also got lined up for you over this week.
Yep, and if you're around on Friday and looking for somewhere to race, project that Johnny has is one instrumental in AMS2 over on Gridlink. You can find the details in the Discord. No stream for that one, but come along for the fun. This week it's Formula Inters, so it's always a good way to spend a Friday evening.
Yeah, no, it sounds it. And actually, I want to be doing more of that stuff because Yeah, because I need to be doing more racing, and I want to do more. What game is that one? Do you say it was Automobilista?
AMS2, yep.
AMS2, and yeah, no, okay, I need to look into that. So yeah, no, plenty of racing for you to get involved in or be watching. So, yeah, make sure to join us for the rest of this week.
Yep, it's been a pleasure. Another great week's racing, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, see you all next week, and as ever, thank you very much for joining me, Ben. And yeah.